It's about to get 11 degrees. 11! We don't do 11 here. Maybe you up north, you do 11? But no! No! Just a hard no! But, I don't have any choice in the matter, so... Yikes! I don't know. I don't remember it being that cold here in a long time, but I don't know. We did have Snowmageddon a few years ago. Anyway, 11. So it's kind of funny gardening here because, as you can see, on those beautiful days, things go to bolt even. It's summer sometimes. And then other days, it's a hard, hard winter. So, let's get the garden ready for winter weather. Winter weather in Dallas, Texas is all about covering and uncovering, covering during freezes and uncovering for that beautiful Texas sunshine. So I don't have a lot to cover in my garden this year, but this beautiful crop of bok choy, I definitely want it to get a little bit bigger. I made this PVC pipe covering. It's a little complicated. You can actually just use hoops, PVC hoops that you can bend over, or just wire, a more lightweight wire hoop that you can use. Anything that will keep that frost cloth lifted up off your plant. I keep my frost cloth in the garage in a bag. Just bring it out every winter. I usually try to buy one more frost cloth in the fall and then just use it over and over again. So yeah, that's winter gardening in Dallas, Texas at least. It is really important to water plants right before it freezes, because the molecular structure of them breaks down a bit when it freezes, and it gives off a little bit of energy and a little bit of heat, and they do much better. So water everything. After we've watered everything really good, it's time to disconnect all the water sources and protect that spigot. I don't have a lot this year. I have baby bok choy, which needs to get a little bit bigger. I'm going to cover my elephant garlic and my calendula flowers. Those will certainly pass away if I don't cover them. The calendula flowers. I think I can maybe leave the garlic, but that's okay. I'll cover them all at the same time. And my regular garlic with calendula flowers on the outside. So, yeah. All ready to tuck and cover when the temperature starts to drop. Hey you guys, I had a newbie gardener question, so I want to address that, because just in case anyone else is a newbie and they have the same question. It's about onions. I had a new gardening friend come over and help me plant my onions, and she had a question. She said, can I plant seeds? Why can't I plant onion seeds? It looks like something has been, see there's a hole there. It looks like something has been digging up my onions. What's that about? But anyway, these are sets that you get from your feed store or your plant store. They come in little bitty onions. These are the yellow kind, and then I also planted a red onion. Now this reminds me of a funny story. When I first started at the community garden, I thought you planted onions by seed. So I got some onion seeds and I went out to the community garden where I was learning, and I had a gardener friend there that English was not his first language. He had a heavy accent, and he was an Asian fellow, and he came up to me and he looked at what I was doing. He said,
no, all set, all set. And I was like, I'm all set. It's like, I don't know what he's saying, but I'm all set. And he would say again, no, I guess he was trying to say, no seed, all set. And yeah, so I kept saying, I'm all set. And then fast forward a few weeks later, when I went out to the community garden, I noticed that everyone's onions were up already, like this. And I thought, why aren't my onions up? I planted all my onion seeds. And then it dawned on me what he was trying to tell me, to get sets instead of seeds. That in Texas, it's not done with seeds. I'm not gonna go into depth on why you can't do it by seed. It doesn't work out, let's just say it that way. Here in Texas, I don't know about other places, but you're not gonna get those bulbing onions from seed. You plant sets here. So later I saw him in the garden and I had my sets and I was planting them out, and he said, oh good, he slapped me on the back and he said, all set, all set. And I said, yes, I'm all set now. So yeah, newbie garden stories. But she came up with an interesting question that I thought was good. She said, well, what if I can't get sets, or what if I don't want to spend the money on sets? How can I have onions like for free? Because I can get seed for free. So I did come up with an answer to her question, which I am going to try. So I'm so glad she asked it. If you do bunching green onions, and that can be your onion source in your dishes, well then you can get seed for that and keep it going almost year round. So I think I'm going to start doing that. In between my bulb onions, I'm going to do in the middle some bunching green onions. And so I ordered some seed for that. And you can just keep going with that seed consistently and be picking them and using them on your cooking, and then have more little ones growing. So you can continuously do that. So I think that might be the answer to just a continual onion crop that doesn't cost any money. You don't have to go out and buy sets for them, but you can just start by seed, and you could let one go to bloom and collect the seeds from that, I'm pretty sure. So we can do that as Texas gardeners. The other way to keep a perpetual onion growing and multiplying is this. A friend gave me these, and these are called walking onions. And what they do is the stalk comes up and it has little bulbs of onions on it, and then it bends over. It gets very, very tall and bends over, and it kind of plants those little onions right there. So that's why they call it walking onions. It keeps moving around your garden because it's bending over, planting. So I planted these that she gave me, and they will bloom and have onions that will bend over and multiply. So this is another way you can get started with a continual supply of onions. And this is the middle of winter and they are looking beautiful. So if I had more of them, I'm not going to pick them now because they're just starting out. But if I had like half a bed of them, I could easily come and pick them and then be confident that I would have more multiplying, continual multiplying onions. So that is another way that we can do onions without messing with the onion sets. I love it when newbie gardeners ask me questions because it reminds me of when I was first gardening and all the fun I had finding out all these things, and also just the ways to be frugal in our garden, ways that we can produce food without having to rely on outside sources or spend money. So yeah, I love that. I hope that answers somebody else's question about onions, sets, not seeds, at least in Texas. The other thing we're doing in our garden right now is we're planting tomatoes and peppers, even basil in those warm season crops, because we're gonna have to get those out early in Dallas, Texas. You want to plant your tomatoes in March and then protect them from the freeze when it freezes, so that they'll have lots of time to produce those good root systems, and they'll start fruiting while it's still cool enough, nighttime temperatures are still cool enough to get those tomatoes to fruit. because once the nighttime temperatures reach 75, around there, your tomatoes might bloom, but they will no longer fruit. They will not set fruit, no matter how much you want them to. So if you plant them late, then you won't get any tomatoes. You'll get plants and blooms, and those aren't good to eat. So yeah, planting peppers and tomatoes inside. But if you don't have a lighting system yet, don't worry about that. In this area, you can go to North Haven Gardens. They have their tomatoes really early for you. Just checking, but I think February, March they get them, and you can get those. They have all sorts of different varieties, and you can plant those in your garden for a great summer tomato harvest. The other thing to plant that's coming up in Dallas, Texas is Valentine's Day means potatoes. You need to plant your potatoes. That's what I always ask my husband. Don't get me a box of chocolate. Get me some seed potatoes. You can get your seed potatoes from your feed store. That's where I get mine. I don't know, your garden center, some garden centers might have them, or just organic grocery store, you can get them, and when you can see those little eyes on them, that's where they will sprout out. And make sure you get them organic though, because they spray potatoes with something that inhibits the sprouting, and you definitely don't want that when you're trying to grow sprouted potatoes. So cut them up, and you can dip them in sulfur if you want to keep them from rotting, and plant them in your beds or in bags or in barrels. Potatoes are fun that way. And yeah, I will bring you along when I plant mine, but I just wanted you to get ready, get your tomato seeds and your pepper seeds and get them started under your grow lights. Get your starting potatoes, and while you're at it, order some onion seeds for bunching of green onions, for some fun things to start in your garden. I have to plant these babies back. How rude. Looks like maybe a squirrel or something has been planting. There's another one. Been planting, I mean digging up. Not planting, digging up. All right, happy gardening, you guys, even in the cold of February. Hey you guys, we don't get snow much here in Dallas, Texas, so this is a real treat for us. But not for the chickens. Oh, that was funny. The chicken just went through the door, it's not closed. Hey girls, what do you think? They have not ventured out yet. They don't even know what to do with this white stuff. It's a little crowded in here when you have to stay in here all day, huh? Is everyone getting along? Well, let's get a few feed stations. That should help. So this is what winter gardening looks like in Dallas, Texas. You can tell I weigh things down with bricks on the ends and on the sides, because it is very windy here. As you can see, my bok choy did beautifully after that last winter storm. So because it is going to be 11 degrees here, the low 11 degrees, then that means bok choy is on the menu. Baby bok choy, yum. This will be great in a stir fry. Now I have so much, and I don't really have time this week to like blanch it and freeze it and package it up, so I will just get to give this goodness to a lot of my neighbors. So that will be really fun. I have neighbors I love and friends. So we'll do that. The other choice I could have is if I had leaves, if I had like a couple of bags of leaves, I've done this before, just dump the leaves over it so it totally covers my crop, and then come back after the freeze is over and just, you know, shake all the leaves off, remove all the leaves. Shredded leaves will work. Regular leaves are okay, they'll work too, to just kind of insulate it and then also cover it. But I don't have leaves, and this crop is pretty mature. Some of these even going to bloom, so it is ready to be eaten. Yum. It has been so warm here that the cabbage moths have been eating some of them. So these ones and all these beautiful weeds will make a great lunch for my chickens and for my rabbits. They'll love them. Look at that! What a beautiful winter harvest. And that's just for the animals. Wait till you see the part that's left for the human beings. Thank you, Lord. Here we go. You're in your cozy spot. Hi, girls. Got a treat for you. Winter in Texas also means cozying up with your favorite plants for occasionally in the winter time. And we're back to using the good old jug to water the animals. Because obviously their automatic water system will freeze, and so will the hose. And we'll have to deal with frozen water crocs. I don't know how you guys do it up north. If that were part of my regular homesteading all winter, that would be really a lot more work. I'm glad it's only a few times during the winter here that I have to deal with that. How do you do it? I'm really worried about my potted fruity mulberry. So, my dwarf mulberry. So we're gonna see how heavy it is. Maybe we could get it inside or in a sheltered spot. Or we maybe could cover it. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can lift it. No. No. No, that's too heavy. Well, since I don't need this cover anymore, we can use it to cover my tree. There we go. Covered. Hopefully that will protect it. Thank you, Eli. I'm quite worried about Figaro, my fig tree, because we trimmed him up before we knew it was going to get so cold for a few days. It's going to be under freezing for a few days, so fig trees can easily die in the frost. So that's okay though. It's come back before from the ground up. I mean, it's frozen back. I've been totally dead and I thought it wouldn't make it, and it's come back through. So it's all right. If I were really on top of it, I would have gotten incandescent Christmas lights, which I kind of planned on doing just in case I needed them, to wrap around here and then cover it, have a big canopy to cover it with the Christmas lights on it. That would be ideal, but I haven't done that. I'm not prepared for that, and that's extra. I don't know. If it dies back to the ground, I'm confident it will grow back. Plus, the more mature they are, the better they do. So it's like 3 years old, so hopefully he'll do okay. If not, I do have all these little babies in my aquaponic system. These baby fig trees coming along, so I'm gonna cover them, and I'm really confident they'll be okay because I have a heater down here for my fish. So the water going up is a little bit warmer and it's moving, and so if my fig tree dies, we'll have to start again with these babies. But that's okay. So that is winter gardening in Texas, you guys. It is a process of covering and uncovering for that beautiful Texas sunshine, and harvesting and covering with leaves, and dealing with really warm weather, warm summer weather in the winter, to extreme cold weather. What is it like for you in your climate? I know you're probably like, this is nothing compared to what we've got. But yeah, this is what we deal with here. All right, you guys, bye. Stay warm. Another wonderful winter veggie is collards, and I don't cover these. They can take a good freeze. I don't know if they can take 13 or 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Chances are no. That's why let's just cut them now and enjoy them, eat them, and enjoy them in our Chinese stir fry. I also managed to get some ginger to sprout in the spring. Those are these dead now, and unfortunately I stuck this, I think it's called Wandering Jew, I'm not sure, in there. Kind of wish I just, next year I'm leaving it just ginger. But let's dig up a little bit and see what we got, if anything. Okay, note to self, next year the ginger gets a pot all of its own. Hoping I'll be able to harvest some of this and use it for my stir fry tonight, and then maybe plant some back when the weather warms up. Okay, that's pretty cool. Definitely grew from the little pieces that I planted. So cool. Look at that ginger. The flavor I'm going for in this stir-fry dish is a curry coconut cream sauce. So lots of curry added to the chicken, and then coconut cream. And then I wanted to thicken it up a bit, so I added cornstarch slurry, just some cornstarch and water to get that thick, yummy sauce. Bok choy is a really fun vegetable. I love to grow it. I love to eat it. It's great in stir fries. You start out with just cutting off those white, thicker stems, because those are going to take a little bit longer to cook. Same with Swiss chard. It's going to look so colorful in this dish and be yummy. So put those leaves aside and chop up the stem. And then collard greens, also good in the winter garden. So we're going to start with carrots. And those take the longest to cook. So we're going to put those in first and saute those for a bit.
after those carrots have softened up a bit, put that onion in. Saute that till it's sweet, and then come the stems, that Swiss chard stem. It's going to add such a good color, and that yummy bok choy stems. Saute that down a bit. And I got to use garlic from my garden, so that was fun. Still had some left, a little bit left. And then that ginger that I grew. The first time I've grown ginger, so that's really fun to get to use that out of the garden. I think I will always grow it. Now I don't want the garlic or the ginger to cook too long, so I'm just going to make a little space in my veggies. Do a little swirl of olive oil. And then I'm going to put that beautiful garlic and ginger in and just saute it for a few minutes to bring out those flavors. What a beautiful stir fry this is. Now come the leaves. First I'm going to put the collard leaves in because those are the thickest and they'll take the longest. And then the Swiss chard on top of that. And I'm going to cover it and just wilt those greens a bit. Next we're going to put in those yummy bok choy leaves. And then cover it and wilt them like before. And we're almost done. Yum! So good. So beautiful too. Time to dish up. I've made some rice. So that rice, that curry coconut chicken, and those beautiful colorful vegetables. Yum.